Hi, Awake TV family. I'm coming to you right now from a beautiful conference out in Boston, and I have Dr. Effie Chow here. She's going to tell you about this wonderful group that we've been listening to all day today. Dr. Chow, please introduce yourself to the group.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Effie Chow, and I am a founder and president of the East West Academy of Healing Arts in San Francisco, and I am also associated as an adjunct professor with the University of Hawaii, John Burns Medical School, the Integrative Medicine Department. And we are today attending a very historic and important event of the second event of the International Medical Tai Chi and Qigong Association. It is hosted by both Massachusetts General Hospital and the Harvard Medical School. So that is significant. And what else is significant is that there's a participation of many, many representatives, professors, and researchers from various different universities all over the world, even as far as from Sydney, Australia. And this is where it's very important because Qigong as a practice, it's been a proven practice, and it has been thousands of years, and there are thousands of styles of Qigong and Tai Chi. And however, in the West, everything has to be proven, gold standard research. And there is a question to that, whether the gold standard research in the U.S. is valued or is indicative of what Tai Chi and Qigong needs to be researched as, or do we need other protocols and instrumentation to be able to research live energy, because the gold standard in research, and I've been 37 years of research consultant with NIH, Department of Health and Human Services, and that's always been the question when it comes to be researching alternative energy medicine, integrative medicine, holistic health, etc., that we are now researching into live life. And the biomedical research protocol is used to researching dead tissue, dead specimens. So we have always, in our different involvement with policy, such as the Office of Alternative Medicine, which has become part of NIH's Department of Integrative Health at NIH, and also with my work with the former President Clinton's complementary alternative medicine health policy. It's called the White House Commission on Complementary and Alternative Medicine Policy. That's really important because they are the first time, at that time, 2000, tried to integrate complementary alternative medicine into health policies and into the mainstream, which there is a lot to do, a lot to explore as to how do we do that. It's not just studying the individual practices, but system-wise, how can we make the benefits of complementary alternative medicine benefit the medical system, which is having its failings now because of its isolation and the emphasis on the physical aspect of health, and that the mental, the spiritual, and the physical has been separated into compartments. The minister takes care of your spiritual and soulful existence, and the psychiatrist takes care of your emotion, and then the medical doctor then takes care of your physical entities. And the concept of the physical problems is generally in our practice with energy and the holistic health and Chinese medicine, Qigong particularly, is that there is a disruption of your spiritual and emotional status which then results into the physical aspect of symptom, which now the Western medicine has taken the physical symptom as a disease.
Yes.
So the treatment of Western medicine is dealing with the symptoms, not the basic causative factors.
Absolutely.
And that's where we have to marry the systems together. And in China, this has been done, it being evolved, in that when people go to the hospital, they have a choice, and they have a condition. They have a choice whether they want Chinese medicine or Western medicine, all in the same institution. So we need to integrate this in the West more thoroughly, not just Chinese medicine, but all other ethnic practices as well, like Ayurveda medicine and Hispanic, shamanism and the woo-woo or whatever it is. And people call it woo-woo because they don't understand what it is.
Absolutely.
And they haven't studied it, to know that there's some basic principles that is very valid in every system.
Yes, and that's why it's so important to introduce this. I hadn't even heard of Qigong before. Qigong.
Yes.
Yeah, still. It's going to be a hot mess. It's going to be a long weekend for me. But I just understanding how that helps change the neural pathways of the brain and actually rewires the way the body
changes the
energy. It's incredible.
DNA. And therefore it affects the cellular structure of the body.
And that's the charts that we've seen this morning have been incredible. The math that they're putting up there, you can't argue that is happening.
Absolutely. And that's why we need to have research done on these systems, the way they understand research. But they also need to know that protocol of research and instrumentation that they presently have may not discover exactly what Qi is, Qi, what Qi is, or the energy that is healing. Because, for example, how can you explain that? Just put up your arms, okay, like this, and just one arm will be fine. I'm going to test how strong you are, okay? I'm going to push down, test how strong you are, okay? And you're very strong. Now just relax your arm, and I'll just do that, and up with your arm. No, I'll just up, same way, up the forehead height. And I've altered your energy, and I like this, and then up, and then you regain your strength again.
What did you do?
Well, I affected the Qi, and in my program this afternoon, I'm going to be demonstrating pushing 10 people, whereas you can't at first, and then with the Qi, we'll see what happens. Okay, so that
you Qi whammied me. You gave me a Qi whammy, and I was not expecting that.
Well, this is just a tip of the iceberg. It's so exciting, and the thing is, people think about Qigong and Tai Chi as exercise and meditation. That's what the West has transported. It is what I'll be talking about. It's a way of life. You cannot just exercise for 2 hours and 3 hours and 6 weeks and expect, full change. But we have executed miracles, like a person who doesn't walk for 12 years, and I've managed to get them moving, mobile, and even stand and be able to take a couple of steps in one session. And I'm able to, in 20 minutes, I can have a person who's fat and can flatten their tummy in 25 minutes working with the Qi.
You're going to have to teach me that one.
And
I think everyone would like to learn that one.
60% of the Americans need to have that.
Everyone wants that one a little bit, yes, for sure.
Because weight loss is a big problem.
Yeah, and we all go to the drugs. The drugs are such an easy fix. And you know the opioid problem we have in the U.S.
And that's it. And I've worked with the veterans.
Yeah.
And we have, with PTSD, after an evening session, we have one example, and I have the videotape on this, is that he was a Vietnam veteran for 40 years. He's been trying to sleep without pain. He always wake up with pain, and 2 hours in the evening with the Chow Qigong, Chow medical Qigong thing, he woke up pain-free, slept the night, 30 to 40 years. He hasn't done that. And then after the morning exercise and meditation and the discussion about the concepts of qi and all that, he said, I found my whole self. And that's only, an evening and a morning. Then he continued, and he was discharged from the hospital where he was living for a long time. He was able to go out and set up an apartment with a friend.
Oh, how wonderful.
Now, these are things, just hearing it, people will say, impossible.
Yeah.
Right? And also a stroke, being totally paralyzed, that we're able to get him speaking properly and moving his paralyzed left side in 1 and 2 sessions. And he was expected to die. Okay. So these things, we also hesitate to talk about it because as you're like, narrowing your brows and said, and you think if other doctors and everybody else heard this, so we not forget, but we intentionally leave the time frame out of it. Yeah. And of course you say, oh, he got walking again? It must be a year that you work with him, not just 1 session.
Because people won't believe you.
And this is why we don't say the truth. And we need to start learning to tell the truth of it.
Yes, and let the evidence stands on its own. It really does.
Well, the only thing is, if they talk about, prove it by the gold standard, and that we can measure. For example, a person can hear, and it will not show anything on the audiogram and the testing for their hearing. There's no medical change, but they're hearing. They can hear you whisper in the back. And this was done by a very famous otolaryngologist, Dr. Rosen, way back when we first hit acupuncture on this. That's in 1970s. And he did this research, and he said there's no change in the measurement, but the person can hear a whisper behind him, no lip reading. And then it's been carried on. I can go on about different things, but it is amazing. And we're ready for miracles now because our living situation is so catastrophic right now, in such chaos. We're talking about finances, we're talking about economics, we're talking about environment, climate change, and diet, and violence, and politics. Does it affect? Are we responsible for politics now? Yes, now we are, because politics is life, and all the aspects is life. Also entertainment and dance, music and performance. This is all very much of it. And even my simple signature prescription of getting at least 8 Chow, Effie Chow, heart-to-heart hug. Every day, get at least 8 Effie Chow heart-to-heart hug.
Okay, you can show me?
And that's this way. You see, if you ask people to hug, they usually always go this side. So your heart is missing. So this side, your heart is touching. Okay? And so there's a reason for that. And touch increases the immune system. Just plain touch. And so touch with love and compassion then escalates the healing potential. And so the laughter, I said at least 3 big belly aching laughs, where you can't stand up straight, you're so curled up and etc. A belly aching laugh. And laughter is a sound of the heart. And all the organs have a sound in the theory of Chinese medicine. And so laughter is a sound of the heart. So it opens up your heart, opens your circulation, opens the circulation that brings oxygen to all the 300 trillion cells in your body. It ranges from 100 trillion to 600 trillion, depending on the instrumentation and everything, So I use the middle score, 300 trillion babies. I call them babies, they're cells, but you have to nourish it every day, regularly, every day. You can't just do it once a month, you can do it once a year, or once a week even, So these are all It's a way of life. It's not just an exercise or
Right.
meditation.
You're absolutely right. It's totally rewiring how we look at life.
Exactly. And then you say, well, there are so many thousands of styles of Qigong. We should really move it into one system and reduce it so that it's comprehensible. No, that will make Qigong ineffective, like Western medicine has been failing, because it separates the spirit and the mind and the body. And they isolate everything. And so it's not just me saying it, CNN has said it, and data shows it. And the Journal of American Medical Association report this study, that iatrogenic disease is the third largest killer in the hospital, next to heart and cancer. Iatrogenic disease.
I have no idea what that is.
Well, this is why I question. It's anything that is prescribed by the doctor. But they're only taking hospital cases. Now, outside, you hear about the opiate crisis, and you hear about the Vioxx, and so many side effects to the medication that has killed many people. But that is not in that study. This is just hospital. And it's done by the Journal of American Medical Association, part of the Medical Association publication. So outside research says it is number one. Okay, but I take the journal JAMA, for being it's an internal publication, and so a lot of this is coming out as to we cannot use one method and make it work for 1,000 people, 10,000 people. It's proven not effective. That every individual must be taken as an individual.
Yes.
And it must be treated as an individual, because the spirit and the mind is taken that no one is the same. No one. Just think the power of God who created the universe. It's awesome. And it's magical.
It is magical.
It's a miracle. But we've lost the miracle and the magic of life, becoming mundane. Oh, I get up, I go to work, I eat, I sleep, and then I get up again, and this whole thing. You might do a little dance or, a movie or something. But that is really boring. Normal, quote, normal life is very boring to me. When I'm associated with people who can take mud and in 1 minute turn it into sand. And these are real elder masters. And he's 86 years old. And another one can pull a fan with his penis. Now, you see, you laugh.
Well,
And
you've
the
mentioned
thing
this
is-
penis thing every time we've spoken, so I think.
Yeah. And so the thing is, when I say Viagra, does anybody laugh? Nobody laughs, but it's.
I do, but I have a very childish sense of humor.
But and so that's what I said. Make it medically functional.
Yeah.
But it is medically functional. If you can build your testicles and your penis and that scrotum, all of that, into a healthy part of you, we always don't want to talk about those private parts, and it is part of us. And so therefore, if you want to be a tennis player, what do? You practice the strokes, and you build up certain muscles in your back and your shoulders and your whole self. But if you want to have good sex, you got to build up that area.
I agree.
Right? And I was head of family planning and sex education for 15 years, so I can talk about these things, whereas
So
everybody.
that's why you always go back to the penis. Oh, you're absolutely right there. You said it. It's a joint venture. It's a machine that works. Everything works together.
Holistically.
Yes.
Yes. And the thing is, I just want to go back to the men, Pastor too. His son. He taught his son everything, but not pulling a man. He is now #1 protege and disciple of Jackie Chan. Everybody knows Jackie Chan.
Right.
And Jackie, too, is the name of the person. He's
Huh.
in movies now and everything, and he is the first disciple of Jackie Chan.
How beautiful.
And his father, who pulls a van with his penis,
Good genes.
was his teacher.
Good genes.
Yeah.
Good genes. It's
But
amazing what you can do.
It's a wushu martial arts. Okay, so we got wonderful. I can tell you much more stories, and we have them with our World Congress. You know, it had its 19th session, October the 5th in Japan. And so we continue on annually, we have it. And we have these people who are spectacular being part of it. Not just you do this wonderful exercise and the other one does another exercise, you know, like this, etc. And doing the Tai Chi, etc. It's boring to just see the exercises and the meditation. You said, man, oh, this is for morning. Oh, this is for depression. This is for thing. If your meditation is good, it can do for everything.
Yes.
Because you deal with the whole body. You don't deal with one part of your body. So it's becoming medicalized, being compartmentalized. And I have trouble with that. And also the training for acupuncture. They're spending a lot of time learning about medical diagnosis and lab work. All the details that they shouldn't have to learn. They know about it, so they refer people for the lab work. They shouldn't know all the little details about it. They should learn pulse diagnosis and Chinese diagnosis. There are 29 different qualities to the pulse. So you imagine combining the 29 different pulses, the intricate diagnosis that you can come up with. Okay, and we did a research on that one time way
What
back.
can it show you? What does it show you?
Well, because of medical diagnosis, we took 4 patients. We had 4 masters, and the medical doctor who brought their patient, they did weeks of diagnosis with them and came up with a diagnosis. So they brought the patient to the workshop. Within 10 minutes, the acupuncturist they could diagnose exactly the same thing.
Wow.
And
So
we
that's-
held it at Stanford.
So that's not just pulse in the arm. That would be the different
pulse.
meridians as well?
Well, you're feeling the meridians in the pulse.
Right.
So all the different organs.
Oh.
And you observe the tongue, and there's 100 different examples of your tongue. You know, the different fixtures, the different imbalances that shows in the tongue. And then they observe you, you know, overall, and with your color, with your, you know, your texture of the skin and how you speak, and etc. They can diagnose exactly the same. 10, 15 minutes by the doctors, by the Chinese doctors, came up with the same diagnosis. Not spoken in Western terms, but in the balance and imbalance of what organs involved and everything. So it is phenomenal. There's lots to learn.
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
Yeah, and I think if you learn like the cookbook style, or if you have this, then you do these points. You have this, you do these points. That is not effective.
So
not
for
the
somebody like
traditional.
me who would love to learn this
Yes.
and resonates with everything you're saying, like that's life changing what you're talking about. Where do we go to
That's why
start?
I talk about a way of life.
Yeah.
Well, you might start with the exercise and understanding why the exercise and what organs it affects and what meridian system. Then you learn the meridian system and the general principles underlying it. So there's yin and yang, the negative, positive balance, and then there's the hot, cold, and there's the deficient or over-sufficient, and then there is a balance of the 5 elements. But it's very fascinating because then you can start being sensitive to feeling what the person is, and you can, for example, the liver, okay, imbalance of the liver. It would show that ordinarily you're a very nice person, a very patient. Suddenly there's oh, stop the phone, shut the phone off. Oh, I can't stand my kids, etc. Well, that's a liver imbalance, and anger is part of that. And so then we say, well, we better, and you might choose green as a wardrobe. because green is a color that placates the liver. That liver needs green. And you might take them out to the woods because wood is an element of liver. And so you might take them out to the wood. And then the taste is sour. So they might want to eat pickle. They're not pregnant, you know. But they might want to have tart and pickle stuff, your sour stuff. I mean, all these are pointing to liver imbalance. And the liver, it gets rid of toxicity in the body. And so it's not doing that, you know, if it's imbalanced. So you get then all other kinds of things. And of course it associates, each organ associates with each of the organs. So I've gone through a little smattering of discussion with you on the complexity, but yet it can be learned very simply. And this is why I've set up a program, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, that goes in more complex. But after level 1, 4 months, 1 weekend a month for 4 months, you can really begin to coach people on health and lifestyle, deal with the energy balancing and getting rid of pain is one of the biggest things. And if you can begin to, every time you see pain, you can brush it away. And you have to build the chi internally. That's why the practice of the exercise and the meditation and positive thinking. And a lot of people think they're positive, but we come to analyze it. They're using terms like, oh, why don't we go to a movie? Is that positive or negative?
I guess negative.
That's right.
Why don't we? Yeah.
And then the term, no problem. It's meant to be positive. It's like,
I use that one all the time.
I give you a test, just like I did test.
No worries.
No worries. Or they go up skiing and say, hey, break a leg. And they mean it, like have a great time.
Yeah.
But what they're saying, the young people will say, hey, break a leg, you know.
Good luck.
And guess what? Sometimes it happens.
Chi whammy.
And so therefore your mind affects everything. It comes down to the mind and the spirit. It affects everything. The way you think, and it's not from the mind. And the Western sense is the mind is the psychiatry and psychological aspect. In Chinese, the heart is where everything starts. And in Chinese, psychiatric medicine, you know, it's the Some lay bang. Some means a heart, lay means inner heart, and bang means sickness. Inner heart sickness is psychiatric problem, medical problem, mental problems. Okay, so it's the heart. And now research, Western research, using the energy, you know, and the EEG and all that, are suddenly discovering, oh my God, we're feeling frequency, we're seeing frequency coming from the heart first, whereas we thought it was from the mind first and then the heart.
Yes.
And so it's corresponding to what we thousands of years ago know in Chinese medicine.
Isn't that incredible? I've read some of Heart Math, Heart Math Institute is saying the exact same thing. The heart is the first thing that develops in the womb. It's the first body part that develops, and we treat it like it's all it does is pump out blood. It's not really there for anything else.
Yeah, and yet pumping out blood is the oxygen. It gives you life.
Yeah.
And if you don't have blood, there's no chi.
Yeah.
Right?
And they talk about the brain
there's no
functions
chi, there's
of
no
the
blood
heart.
either.
Incredible.
Yes.
It's just incredible.
No, I know we could go on and on talking about all these.
I'm very excited about your speech, and I'm going to be broadcasting your speech, your talk today at
presentation
2:45.
4:45.
4:45?
Yes.
Okay, 4:45 Eastern time.
Well, he managed to stick me in there because only a few days ago did he, you know, invite me because he heard from Marissa that, you know, should really get in touch with me. And so I'm very blessed with that. And he adjusted his talk.
I see,
so
he was scheduled at that time, so he must really like you.
Exactly.
He's like, no,
I've not met him until here.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's amazing how, even though most of the people you've met today you haven't met in person, you all seem to know each other. It's actually a very cool group of people.
You create that.
Yeah.
See, I create that. And I talk about family. And this is why, even with friends, I said, you are family because your energy is each other.
Very, very true.
When you talk about energy, I am you and you are me. And God is in me. So therefore, I am God. And the universe, you're part of the universe. If you're all connected, then I say you are the universe. So therefore, don't treat it as if it's out there. It is here. Is that logical?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So it's oneness. We're all connected.
That oneness, yes.
And it's so important that message is finally starting to get out to at least the western side of the world, where they're starting to wake up.
Well, in 1973, on my letterhead, it said oneness. 1973, I'm always ahead of the time.
You're cutting edge, for sure.
The universe.
I didn't hear that term until like 2010.
Well, I'm so happy. You are in for a spin.
It's going to be a great, great weekend. And thank you so much for taking time to do this video.
It doesn't end this weekend, right?
No.
It's just the beginning.
Yes, we're going to do a veterans documentary about Qigong and how that affects can be against PTSD and
but we're going to have more than that. Not just talk, we're going to teach the veterans so that they can in turn help other veterans. See, right now the veteran, I have a real compassion for them, and I feel they've been shafted badly.
For sure.
Yeah, and so therefore I do a lot of free programs, and I see them privately free right now. And so the thing is, we need to have them not keep begging for help. We have to give them self-sustenance so they can turn around and help others, so that they get the fact that, hey, I'm useful, I am a person, I have value. So that's what I'm hoping that Chow Qigong, or I call it Chow Integrated Healing System, Chow Medical Qigong, will begin to help the veterans to establish a credible career even in this, because their own experience is the best teacher.
Yes.
And that's what we create, is that use your own experience. It's not getting ideas from here, but going inside your heart and see where is that and start to help others. But of course we teach them skills and all that, but it starts from them realizing that they have something in them, and we're just helping to bring that out.
That's beautiful.
I hope that will be very, very helpful.
It will. I guarantee it.
And I know it's helped a lot of other people. The veteran is something I really want to make it national and international, because every country has veterans too.
Yes.
But
yes, absolutely.
Most critically in the USA about
so
the
far,
way they're treated anyway.
So far we've had 4 different people come up to us this morning just to say they want to talk about the veterans and the VA and what they're doing. So it's getting massive. Oh yes, I've already got business cards from all sorts of people.
Right, well that's what.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, I mentioned them about you, and I said, look for a tall lady.
Luckily, I'm taller than pretty much everybody here, so that makes it easy to spot. But it's going to be
really
such a great conference, and I can't wait to see your talk at 4:45.
Yeah.
Can I get one more heart-to-heart hug?
Oh, listen, you're supposed to have 8, remember?
Oh, okay.
Oh, and by the way, if you get 100 in the day, you can't start with, like I got it for 10 days now.
That doesn't, they don't add up? You don't, store them in there?
It doesn't accumulate. You have to start again the next day, and really a warm bear hug.
You are an amazing, amazing woman.
Well, we are an amazing species.
Yeah.
We need to live up to it. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I am going to